at you. Back over to the desert. We got UFC Qatar bright and early over on the East Coast. For us, it's early. But we're over in the desert, Qatar, and we have Dan Hooker versus Arman Tsarukyan and Bilal Muhammad, Ian Garry, and a bunch of other stacked cards for a fight night. This is an absolute delight. Recap on last week, we finally hit the collab. Nice little plus 300s parlay. Back at you this week. We have 4 legs for ours, but stay tuned to the end for that, or you can skip to the end. But great card. Protez knockout, Islam and New.
Morales got a KO.
Morales
I had a
Sean
10 leg parlay. The Morales won.
Sean Brady fucking double knee braced. That's what you can't have. But we'll get to start.
Can't have that.
We have Marek Bujlo taking on Denzel Freeman. So Denzel Freeman coming from Dana White Contender Series. And then Bujlo, he's kind of fought on some low level regional scenes, but he has a decently decorated jiu-jitsu game. He has a black belt and stuff like that. So they're trying to revitalize his heavyweight division with prospects and stuff. So they're bringing in these guys to square off to start the night. Double debut. Denzel Freeman, former Marine. He's a captain in the Marines. He has some good grappling. He has a pretty snappy head kick for a heavyweight. That surprised me when I was watching tape. Decent grappling. He doesn't really like getting hit. I saw that in some of his fights. Like when he gets hit, he doesn't really know what to do. You can tell he's still not a seasoned fighter. Like yeah, he's a Marine and an athlete, and he can fight, but he doesn't seem like a seasoned fighter when he's in there in a brawl. But nonetheless, he's in this fight. And then Bujlo, he's been fighting cans on the regional scene, some real cans. He just finishing them all in the first round, getting him to the cage, taking him down to the ground and pounding him, getting a sub. There's not much you can take away from any of those fighters. I think only one was like positive record. So I don't really have any stake in that. You're thinking about his jiu-jitsu. He does have an ankle lock on his record and shit like that. He's a bit slimmer for the division. I couldn't find any of his weights from his fights, but I'm thinking he's walking around 230-ish. Denzel Freeman's a little bit heavier, but I guess this fight is one that I'm a little skeptical because both the guys are unproven. I could see Denzel Freeman finding the shot and getting a knockout here. He has a snappy head kick, and he could wrestle his way on top. But I don't really know much about the jiu-jitsu of Bujlo besides what I've seen here with like his shoddy fights. Not much that you can see. Denzel Freeman, you've seen on the PFL, he's fought all these better guys, so I'm gonna side with him, but low confidence because I don't really know much about these guys. I could see Denzel Freeman getting a finish here, or even Bujlo. If you have a heavyweight that can lock an ankle lock and is a black belt with some type of pedigree, he can do anything on one of these slower guys. So I don't know. I think I stay away from this. Maybe an unders in play, but that's pretty much all I can look for. How about you, Unk?
Yeah, so my phone. Sorry, phone froze up there. So one thing I noticed about Bujlo right away is his lack of high guard. So he has it's not a good high guard, and he shells his hands to try to protect from his punches. And I think Freeman is gonna be able to, land some type of big hook or a straight, punch that is gonna, bop Bujlo and get him out of there. Now you talked about the jiu-jitsu. So from what I ran from the it's like the Tapology, but the jiu-jitsu base was that he likes to butt scoot a lot and he likes to play off his back in the guard. And that would encompass why he would have a heel hook. But what I got out of that also was that he's not too good at wrestling takedowns. So, but once again, the research, Freeman fought for PFL, did great. Has like a 6-1 record. And this Bujlo guy, his MMA fights that I looked up I was like, yeah, this is. I'm not. Who are these guys? Like, what's going on here? And his high guard disturbed me the most because he doesn't hold his hands right. So I think Freeman could get a knockout in this, but I'm going with his money line for -200.
Hot hand.
Yeah, I don't like this fight at all. I mean, they're both on debuts, so like what could you go off of? They're fighting in bad organizations, no competition. So I don't really want to play money line on either side here, but if I were to bet on anything, I would bet fight to end knockout at -225. But like I said, there's a bunch of other good fights on this card, so I wouldn't really, worry about this one.
All right, we'll keep it pushing to the next bout. And we have Aliev taking on Shamrock. Um, Aliev, a combat sambo fighter out of Tajikistan, and then Shamrock making his debut from Octagon. Um, over in Europe, a decently quality organization, not insanely high, but some of the highest over in Europe. And Shamrock's a submission specialist for the most part. A lot of it by back taking, rear naked choke. Most of his wins are by submission. He has a decent front kick, but it's not slow and it's not really that snappy. He's not really that threatening when it comes to the striking, but he could put you against the cage, pressure you, and then look for ground and pound or submissions. But he doesn't really get a lot of knockouts. Nurul Aliev. I was surprised that it wasn't a fucking Russian flag and a Tajikistan flag because he gives me straight Dagestani vibes. He's looking to grapple you. He's somewhat big. He's definitely a weight bully for the division. Shamrock is bringing some size into this one, but I like Aliev. The way he's a crotch sniffer by definition. He has submissions and stuff like that, but he could sit you down and um hold you on the mat for 15 minutes. And I think that's what he's gonna do in this one. I think he's gonna be able to outstrength Shamrock. The striking of Shamrock doesn't really surprise me to the point where I'm gonna be like, oh shit, he might kickbox. No, Aliev's gonna pressure him, gonna get a hold of him, and it's gonna be the typical boring fight. And we're in Qatar, so they like that style of fighting. Judges score stuff in favor of that style of fighting, rather than if it's like a striking bout in fucking Las Vegas. So I got Aliev on the decision. My prediction. Betting wise, he's a bit juiced, but I -290. You're getting him at. Um, anything steeper, I probably wouldn't take him, but I think you're better off looking for an over or not Aliev takedowns or Aliev by decision. You could probably sprinkle a submission because Aliev's gonna probably be able to get on the ground and look for them at least. So I wouldn't leave that out of the equation. But I'm decently high confidence on Aliev to get it done here. How about you, Hot End?
Yeah, I'm not the highest on Aliev. He is good for his age, but he tends to slow down. He is big for the division and he does have nice grappling, but when you look past the grappling, that's all he has to implement. And I think sooner or later he's going to get checked, but I don't think Shamrock is the one that's going to do it. Like Mike said, most of his submissions come off the takedown. So he's more of the takedown, and they're going to sub you based off position or like muscle you around into the position, and they're not like crafty with it, catching people off their back or pulling guard, whatever. So I think Aliev is going to be able to implement the wrestling game here and be able to stay free of any submission attempts. But at -290, I don't want to pay that chalk on a 24-year-old fighter that barely fights maybe once a year. So give me Aliev for the prediction, but I don't think I'm betting him.
Unc?
All right, I think Ali is going to win the fight by decision, but obviously, odds way too juiced. So, Aliev by decision or by finish only is currently -160. It was like -145 the other day, so it's gone up. So if it goes to a decision, it voids out. So I'm going to play that, hoping that our homeboy can, uh, Aliev can wrestle. Uh, Shamrock to the ground and get a submission on him and get him wrapped up and get him out of there. But if not, and he wins the decision, then I'll just take the void. So that's what I'm doing. But I think the wrestling really here is the key, and like Aliev's going to pressure the hell out of him, and Shamrock's not going to be able to keep him off him. I looked up Shamrock's record and what he fought in. He didn't fight anybody over there that was like these type of grinding style wrestler guys. So that's prediction.
I'll keep this one pushing. And Aliev though, I think even though Shamrock has some size, I think that he's gonna be able to just use that combat sambo style. But like you said, it's a bit chalky. You have Ismail Naurdiev in this next one taking on Ryan Loder in a fairly close bout on the odds. Naurdiev coming off a decision loss to the Iron Turtle, and then Ryan Loder coming off a knockout loss to Almabayev. Ryan Loder, you know where you're getting with him. He's a grappling style. He has some minimal striking, but he's mostly trying to look for takedowns. He has some submission game. But he's 34 years old. He's taking some damage, but he is durable. Oezdemir was an outlier, obviously. I think that even though Oezdemir just lost, I think that was a bad stylistic matchup for him, and he's still a good fighter. But um, Ryan Loder, uh, I do like him, and when I was originally looking at this fight, I do like him at plus money. Ismail Naurdiev is a bit inconsistent, and even though he has I think a sizable striking advantage in this one, um, I just don't think he's too trustworthy. It's hard for me to be able to sit here and be like, oh, I'm gonna slam Ismail Naurdiev because he's the younger fighter. He's not even into his 30s yet, or into his prime. This is his second stint in the UFC. But tough. I don't know. The later rounds, I like Loder. He's able to grapple and stuff like that, but this is another fight where I understand why the odds are so close. And earlier I was gonna pick Ryan Loder, but I usually like taking the younger guy in this type of instance. Naurdiev is not trustworthy. They're probably not gonna play any type of money line early. I think Naurdiev could possibly get a finish via knockout, and Loder has a low shot of getting a submission because Ismail Naurdiev, even when he left after his first stint, he was losing on the regional scene too. So like, um, I don't know. I'm looking at fight doesn't go the distance because, like what I said before, it sucks because Naurdiev could last, but I don't know. This is a fight that I don't really think it's rushed to the counter. Ryan Loder has been ending fights really, uh, well inside the distance recently, so I like fight doesn't go the distance, but I don't even know what I'm playing for this fight yet. I'm gonna side Naurdiev with a knockout, but I can easily see Ryan Loder winning this fight. How about you, Unk? Unk, you there?
He got kicked out of the speaker. You gotta invite him again quick.
Shit. We'll hop in, or you hop on then. I just invited them.
Hey,
All right, what do you got?
server kicked me out. I don't know. I'm what I need Loader spread because that's the pick. He doesn't get finished. His plus 3.5 is minus 145, and then plus 5.5 is minus 170. So I'm gonna take one of those. Ryan Loader doesn't get finished. He's durable. He's gonna grapple. He's gonna outlast Naurdiev and not get finished. And Naurdiev's gonna be like, "Oh shit! Like I can't finish this guy. I don't know what to do." And the panic and the fatigue is going to start to set in, and Ryan Loder is just either going to lay on him for top pressure, or he's going to beat him up while he's on top of him. So I don't want to take Loder's money line because I feel like I don't want to take Loder's money line because I feel like there's a possibility. I don't want to take his money line because I feel like there's a possibility that Naurdiev could get the split decision win. So I want to take the plus 5.5. So yeah, that's what I'm rocking with.
Hot hand.
Yeah, I lean Loder here just based off he's the more well-rounded fighter. And if he is getting tagged on the feet, he has, the cardio to lean on and try and just survive till the later rounds. or he could look to the grappling where he's going to have the edge in the wrestling and grappling department. So with that, I do lean Loder. I'm just not big. I think Ismail is live early and could catch him, but like Unc said, Loder isn't really known to get finished. So give me Loder, but not very confident in this pick.
All right, we'll keep it moving to the next bout. We have Beksa Almakhan taking on Alexandre Topuria. Topuria coming off that victory over Colby Thickness, where a lot thought he was going to get the finish, and the odds on that were pretty juiced for him to get a finish, but um, he got the decision victory, showing off his grappling. Thickness is a decent prospect, though, so I don't really knock him too bad. I don't know if Thickness is as good as a prospect as Beksa Almakhan. I guess they're close, but Beksa's a way faster striker, very quick off the break. We called him against Brad Katona at like minus 160 or something like that. He finished Brad Katona up in seconds. Um, I like him as a prospect, but his grappling is a bit questionable. I do like his high tempo, and I think he is a quicker striker than Topuria. But I do like Topuria's defense in this case. I think he knows what to do off the break, and his head movement's pretty high level. Um, the grappling is going to be in his favor. I think if he gets his hands on Unlock, and he's going to be able to rack up a decent amount of control time with that Greco-Roman background. Um, and I do think he has the power upside as well. I think he can find the chin of Almakhan on a counter or something like that. But I do understand why the odds are so close. Beksa, I do like him as a prospect, and I think he's very fast on the feet, extremely fast with bouncing in and out of range. And he might have some problems for Alexandre Topuria to figure out with that. But I'm gonna have to side with Topuria. I kind of like him via decision. I think he can get a submission in this one as well. I'm not really gonna stake him getting a finish though. He's a slower paced fighter. I think he could get a finish, but side with him by decision. I like his money line odds as well. They're not that bad. I'd like it to be like an over, like a round two to start, or an over 1.5 as well. Because I think that he's a slower guy, but Bexal might be able to force something. But odds are close for a reason. But give me Taporia to not be a fraud in this case. Unk or Hot Hand.
Well, I'll take it away. Pretty summed up Topuria's fighting style. I would say he's gonna be able to pressure better, strike, and have the higher fight IQ. I'm looking on DraftKings. It would be a parlay piece, but round two to start is minus 360. But I think that's like solid. So, I mean, if you need something to tip you over, that should tip you over a good bit of betting points. Uh, round two to starts minus 360. But overall, I think Topuria wins the fight. Minus 142 money line, and that's good enough for me to play a straight bet on, honestly. So that's where I stand. I don't like Bezcat's, like, he has like a herky jerk kind of strike style where he stands up with his chin, and I think that Topuria, like, his striking was like crisp. It wasn't like the cleanest in the world, but it was crisp. And if he cleaned it up a little bit, then he could definitely whack Bezcat and get him out of there. But Bezcat is he's a fury himself. So hopefully Topuria can get it into like the second round, third round, and then be able to capitalize on that pocket boxing and get like an uppercut or like an overhand and get Bezcat out of there.
Hot Hand.
Yeah, I mean, I think Topuria here is the clear favorite in my eyes. I think he's more technically sound with the striking. He doesn't really throw kicks, but his boxing is just too crisp that he can lean on the boxing. His striking defense is beautiful, but the only thing that scares me with that is at points in fights he's too technically sound on the defensive end, and he doesn't return punches where he's just, playing it safe and dodging and then getting out volume. So that part scares me. I could see Bezcat winning a fight where if Topuria doesn't throw, that he's going to win off volume. But I think his boxing's better. I think his movement's better. His fight IQ is higher. I think his grappling is way better. Like Mike said, he has that Greco-Roman background like his brother. His brother's the champion. All I've been seeing is this new gym they built that they have the best, workers and people to help them in their training camp that you could possibly get because they come from money, and as well as Ilya going through a divorce. So I could only imagine what the mindset and the pace and the tempo of this training camp was. So I already played Topuria straight here, and if you want to play it even safe, you could take him plus 3.5 as well as a lay piece, but I like his money line and I like his plus 3.5. But give me Topuria. I think he wins by KO or decision.
All right, we'll move on to the biggest favorite on the night. Abdul Rahman Yakhyaev taking on Rafael Cerqueira. Minus 1100, and that's the best odds you're gonna find. You're looking around, you'll see minus 1400 on places. Yakhyaev obviously coming from Dana White Contender Series where he got an easy first round finish, but you're not gonna see much. Like he fought in areas and shit, but you're not gonna see much of competition that he fought. He only has a couple fights on record. Cerqueira's a bum. He took Julius Walker to decision though, but most of his fights are ending very quickly. I think he's gonna get finished. I do like Yakhyaev by submission more than I like Yakhyaev by knockout. But like I said, it's not really much to play here. I'll taking a look at overs unders. Under 1.5 minus 340, but like that's some super fan right there.
You can do the exact method of victory KO minus 220, or you could do the exact method of victory submission plus 180, and that's the best that you're going to get on this fight.
Yeah, there's not Abdul Rahman Yakhyaev round 1 minus 175. I think that he wins in round 1, but you're paying some significant juice for a round 1 finish. For a guy who hasn't proven much, and Rafa Cerqueira trains with some decent level. He trained with Jonathan Almeida and stuff. Went to decision last time. He looked in phenomenal shape, so I don't know. Stay away from this fight, in my opinion. Unless you want to take Yakhyaev, but you better not take him on the money line. If you're looking at, I was looking at the submission. Abdul Rahman Yakhyaev to win by submissions in round 1 or 2 plus 250. I was taking a look at that, but you're not gonna get crazy odds here.
See, his regular submission is plus 180. So, like, it's like, do you want to play it for the round or what do you want to do? I mean,
Yeah.
Yo, get Mo in here. He's in the audience.
Oh shit! Hold up. I guess your question.
If he can figure it out. Mo sat in the lobby the whole
Yeah,
time the one time.
I just invited him. There he is. Finally.
Oh, there he is.
I just got home. I was picking up my cat from getting neutered.
Oh yeah. Locked him in. Violated your man's.
Well,
All right.
what
Let me just run it from the beginning, and then I'll ask
what
you.
what fights did you go through already?
I'll start it off. I have it in front of me. Freeman versus Bulio. Double debut. Start tonight.
I have no idea. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I literally did not search and tape this fight or
Right.
look up anything. I don't have anything for y'all on this one.
Dalby versus Izagakhmaev. Oh no, actually no, that's not the order. That'll be like. Hold up. Let me get the typology order.
I think it's
Yeah, we didn't cover the Dalby fight.
We didn't. I know. FanDuel has
Shamrock and Nerulio.
Yeah, we did go through that one.
Honestly, for that fight, I like over 2.5 rounds. It was minus 145. Now it's minus 190, bro. Like, bro, it's been a day. It's been one day.
I got
Loder versus Naurdiev.
Loder versus Naurdiev. I think it's going to be Naurdiev by a finish or Loder by decision.
I got Naurdiev by a finish, and if it's a decision, it's a void. Minus 160.
That's fire. I like that. That's a good play.
Topuria, Almakhan.
Who?
Topuria and
Oh,
Almakhan.
Topuria is my lock of the card, but that's that's based off. Wow, he's minus 142 now, bro. He was
Yeah,
just
he's
minus
decent.
112.
Yeah, but he was like a little bit sizable favorite at one point, and then he went back to plus, and then he went back. So like he's just returning to what he was. I feel like people just got a discount.
All right, so Topuria is one of my locks of the card. It just comes down to if he's able to wrestle as good as Ilya is, which I wouldn't put it past him. They grew up together doing that shit. You know what I mean? That's why I believe he's a lock. If
His
if,
wrestling is just as good. I promise.
yeah, if Almakhan is able to take Topuria down, then Almakhan is gonna win. But you gotta remember, Almakhan dropped Umar in his debut. That was like one of the hardest debuts I've ever seen somebody get.
Almakhan also stands like straight up though, dude, and like has like a weird straight spine stance, like could get clipped real easy.
Yeah. I believe Topuria's striking is a million times better than his. That's why I'm not worried about it. I'm just worried about if he's able to defend the takedowns because Almakhan is gonna 100% shoot at least 5 times this fight minimum. But other than that, I think Topuria is a lock, and he's my lock of the card and my collab pick.
Cerqueira, and then this one obviously this fight right here.
I'm taking Abdul Rahman by finish.
All right.
But I'm pretty sure that's like minus 400.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, do you have odds for that? Because I pulled up Rockmod by I'm
KO
sorry,
is minus 175 for a KO plus 200 for a sub.
well, if you could take KO for
The
the whole
finish is
fight
minus 600
at
on
minus
FanDuel.
220,
What is it?
minus 220 for KO for the whole fight.
Oh, I don't think he's gonna get KO. He's definitely not getting KO. That nigga's a demon.
But
Well,
I
I'm
don't know
just
if you
saying.
guys. I don't know if you guys saw his DWC
yeah,
fight, bro. That shit was
Yeah,
crazy.
but I'm just saying from odds
Yeah, from
perspective.
odds perspective, I would much rather go with that minus 220 over a minus 175 just for him. I agree with what you're saying. Never know.
all right, we'll keep this pushing now. This fight, there's not much we can even find on here. Asul Almabayev taking on Alex Perez here, which this is a really nice fight. But Perez is coming off that knee surgery. Asul Almabayev coming off that nice win over Ochoa, where he pretty much dominated with the wrestling. And Perez got done in, but he has a pretty hard slate of fights that he's had over the course of his career. So not like he's fighting cans. He's fought Taisur and Yakhyaev, and then Pantoja. So like and Figgy. So like he has losses to the best. But I think Asul Almabayev is gonna have too much pressure with his grappling, and he's gonna shoot way too many times. And Alex Perez coming off a fucking knee surgery after tearing his whole shit. I don't know if he's gonna be able to fucking sprawl that many times in a fight, and I don't think he's knocking out Almabayev. His forward pressure might be able to stop some of the takedowns just off the pressure alone, but I think Asu is gonna be able to take him down, and hold him down for an extended period of time, and shoot for submissions. And I think that Ochoa has better off his back game than Alex Perez does. So Asu Almabayev might be able to even get a finish in this fight. So that's something to look for. But I'm taking a Almabayev. I don't think his money line's outrageous, and it's under minus 200 now on DraftKings. It's like minus 190, so it's getting even better. If it gets down to like
Yeah,
minus,
I think that's a perfect price for Asu. He was actually like a minus 150 earlier in the week,
yeah.
minus 140.
But yeah, I'm just taking Asu. How do you feel about this one, Mo?
Asu lost stock for me in that Manel Top fight. Like I was very disgusted with that fight, but then he came back and got a huge victory over Ochoa, which I did back him in. With even though I was hesitant to back him, he still got it done, and he did it really, really dominantly. So I feel like this one is going to be easy for him, but I do believe Alex Perez is very good, and I do believe that his striking is way better than Asu's. So Asu's just going to have to play the takedowns here and look for control and eventually a submission if he can.
Hot hand.
But overall, I think Asu by decision is what's going to happen.
Hot hand. How do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I took Asu last time he fought against Ochoa for my lock of the card, and I got to take him again. I think Perez is just on like that downward spiral of his career. 1-4 in his last 5, as Asu is 4-1 in his last 5. And his only loss coming to fucking Manel Kopp and everyone knows how legit he is. I think Ochoa is way more of a threat on the feet than Perez with the power and his pressure. And I mean, Sue really shut that down easily. So I'm not really.
And Ochoa has really good submissions coming from
Oh yeah,
this camp. So,
but I think Perez just coming off of that fucking blown out ACL against Tyra. I think he's old. I think he's on the downward part of his career before he retires. So, better odds at -200. I think Asu is too good not to play here. So, give me Asu.
Unk.
On the very first sprawl exchange, you're going to see why Alex Perez had to take so much time off and why his knees can't stand up. If he fully does a full sprawl or does like a full bend, then it's going to be an interesting fight. But I predict first sprawl, first hard movement that he has to do, you're going to notice a tweak for the whole rest of the fight. And I think Asu has a good chance of being able to finish it and capitalize off that. I think Asu for a submission, whatever that is, I don't have the odds in front of me, but I think that is the path to victory here. Because, like I said, I think Alex Perez's leg, knee, whole 9 yards. Yeah, that was a multi surgery. That wasn't like a one and done. So his whole thing is torn apart. So I think from the first sprawl and the first shoot, you'll be able to see the difference and why he's not going to win the fight.
He's probably gonna be wearing fucking knee braces too. At least one.
And I mean, we know right away if they're not a crazy heavy-handed striker guy and they're wearing knee braces, then we're fading that guy.
Yeah, so pretty much all in agreement here about Asu. And we'll keep it pushing. Then we have Saeed. I'm not even gonna attempt it. Taking on Nicholas Dalby. Saeed has been stepped away from the game for a while. He has grappled on the karate combat grappling scene recently. But his last fight was against fucking Aoki, or like that legend that fucking broke the dude's arm and middle finger, like with the middle fingers, and that was like a couple years ago in one, and the dude was like late 30s, 40 years old, and there's not really much competition. But I was very surprised. He is a really good grappler, but I was very surprised. And I watched his grappling match in Karate Combat, and he pulled guard off rip, and he's a offensive wrestler. Pulled guard, and his guard is actually fucking wicked. Like the guy who's on top of him, it was a pretty good grappler, and he could not go anywhere without getting threatened for some shit. So I like his grappling. I think that he has an insane advantage to get to the mat. And I know Dalby has wrestling capabilities, but I think that if this touches the ground, he's getting submitted. And I think Saeed has good striking, but I'm I'm um I'm a bit scared to take him at like -300 when you're thinking about how long he's been away from the cage, and even before that, the competition level that he was fighting. He was fighting a fucking almost retired. I know that Aoki guy or whatever the fuck his name is, a legend and shit, but he's way past his prime, and he should not be fighting this guy. And I'm gonna take him on the money line. I think he's gonna be able to get Nicholas Dalby either submitted or maybe I lean to finish, but Dalby is a very durable fighter. Last, he did get fucking absolutely demolished by fucking Randy Brown, but Randy Brown has way crisper striking than Saeed or Saeed, whatever. Uh, I'm gonna lean Saeed via finish. Submission, knockout, you pick it. But on the picks wise, it's probably gonna be a same game parlay with like Saeed and like round 2 to start. I'm taking a look now if that's even available. And it is. Hold up. You take Saeed money line and round 2 to start. You're getting that at -145. So I think that's a decent round to take. I think it goes to round 2, and I think that he beats Dalby. Dalby is a tough character though, but I think he's over 40 years old and he's on his way out.
Tell us more about this Saeed's guard. I'm interested in this guard that happened.
You got to pull up his karate combat That's his most recent combat in the last like 3 years. He fought like in 2023 or something like that, but after that he has 2025. This is most recent, and he automatically pulled guard, automatically
Well,
has the guy sucked in.
like full guard, like
Yes,
this.
just pulled
Okay.
guard off the rip, laid down, and invited this grappler, and it's a solid grappler from over in Eastern Europe, but he did him really foul. So I think that Dalby,
He pulled full guard, and the guy went on top, and then he
the guy
held him from the
the
bottom.
guy was trying to get off from the top mount and he couldn't get out, and then he was trying to like go to the side and trying to go to again. He was in Kimuras, and then he was in an armbar, and then he ended up armbarring him and finishing him via armbar. But
While he was on his back, or he reversed position.
flipped him over. He like grabbed him by his
Okay.
leg underneath, cradled him,
Uh
and then
huh.
rolled him
Uh
over.
huh.
Yeah,
Okay. The reason why this is important is because Nicholas Dalby's path to victory in this fight is to blockhead wrestle or to
yeah, and
blockhead
he ain't
overhand
wrestling.
right and
Yeah,
wrestle into it.
yeah, he ain't
Yeah.
winning on the
So
wrestling. That's for sure.
yeah.
If he's on top of him,
Okay.
he's getting submitted, in my opinion.
Okay. So I'll just finish with mine. Is then I have Sagid by whatever the double chance of submission or decision is. If it's minus, if it's less than his money line. If not, then I may just tail Mike's pick, which is Saeed and round 2 to start. But with this guard information, I got to pull up this grappling
It's on
match.
YouTube.
But okay. So, but if Nicholas Dalby did win, he would win by throwing overhand rights and then getting in and then shooting very, very hard double legs. And if you're telling me even if he does dump him for one and he's on his back, he knows how to cradle the leg and sweep out of it. So that gives me full confidence in Saeed not getting finished. So Saeed sub or decision
That's
if it's
minus one
less
forty. That's minus 140.
than all right, that's my pick.
Hot hand.
Yeah, I mean, in this spot, we have Sagid who's coming on his debut, but the only thing that scares me is that uh, we seen Charleston Harris sub Sagid, so Dalby ain't no pushover. He's been in these battles, and he has his name holds some value here. So I do think Sagid could win this fight. He should win this fight, but I just don't like the value on his name here, and I just that Charleston Harris finish rubs me wrong. So, but at the end of the day, Sagid should win this fight. They're fighting in Qatar. He's trained. He's going to be in camp with Tagir here, so I think he should win here at minus 325.
Mo.
I like Sagid in this fight, but I do think Dalby at a plus 270 is a little crazy. And I thought Dalby was very durable until he got knocked out by Randy Brown, which was absolutely sad because I had that fight to go over 2.5 rounds. So, like, I don't even know with this dude Dalby anymore. Like, I really thought he was very durable, but since he got finished by Randy Brown, I definitely think Sagid could finish him for sure. Sagid's kickboxing is very elite, and he's just like that, in my opinion. And he also has that wrestling in his back pocket if he ever has to lean on it. So I'm like pick wise, I like Sagid money line, but like that's not really a good bet because I'm not betting a minus 340, and I'm also torn on the over under 2.5.
Yeah, we'll figure something out for that. I like that submission decision, but I can see him hitting him on the feet too. So it's tough. I like that the pick that I have with the round 2 to start. I think Dalby can last us a fucking round.
Wait, what's the odds for round 2 to start, bro?
Like
Dalby's durable, like I said, bro. Like
Sagid,
one round is crazy.
Sagid money
Yeah, and
line,
I'm
Sagid money line, and round 2 to start is minus 145.
That's
so
actually really good.
so it's the same. So
My
it's the
thing
same
is,
thing as it's the same
I
thing as
can't
the
bet that.
double chance.
Yeah,
I would have to bet over 1.5 rounds, and that is a little steep for me.
Don't
it'll probably be plus money.
I wouldn't do that. I can see Dolby come out in the second round after trying to power wrestle the whole
Get
time the
choked out.
first round, being dead and getting chewed up the first 2 minutes of the first, second round.
Yeah, so you gotta pick your poison with that because you can't take the round 2 to start in the parlay, but that's probably where I'm going with it. And then we'll move on now. We'll take another debut look. at Luke Riley from Cage Warriors, coming over here to fight Bogdan Grad. Bogdan Grad, disappointing against Naimov, but he had his moments. Uh, he's a disappointing fighter who he has talent and he has all the credentials. Well, not credentials. He has all the stats. Like he's well rounded with his grappling and his striking. His striking defense is pretty atrocious. He's durable, but he has been finished by Tom Nolan, um, which was a wicked strike. But then you have Luke Riley here, undefeated, coming out of Cage Warriors, and it looks like in every single fight he's losing, and then his opponent just gasses, and then he beats him up. Like his last fight, he was getting absolutely gripped up by some bum, getting gripped up, and then the guy just randomly gassed down to round one, and then round two comes, and he just got fucking demolished. And then he was fighting this loose.
I'm sorry to cut you off, Mike, but I feel like a lot of people are underrating Luke Riley and Shamrock in this fight, bro. A lot of people are underrating them. I understand what you're saying from the tape, but like, bro, they're very good. They're not very good at grappling, which is the sad part. But their striking is elite.
Well, here's what I was gonna say. If you watch the Loof fight in Cage Warriors for Luke Riley, he should have been finished.
Wait! This motherfucker's from Cage Warriors.
Yes, exactly. Let me finish. All right.
Go ahead. Nah, but I do like Shamrock though. I'm not gonna lie. Plus 270 on Shamrock is crazy.
But Luke Riley, from Cage Warriors, he was fighting Loof, this Swedish guy who has scoliosis, right? And he was getting absolutely violated. It's on YouTube. You can go look it up. He got dropped. He got split open, violated on the feet.
What?
And then Loof
He got dropped?
Bad. Like, it would have been finished a lot of fights. Like, in the UFC, I've seen fights getting finished earlier. You can go look it up on YouTube right now. But Luke Riley gets dropped bad, split open, and then in round two or round three, it was round three, I believe, Loof gassed from swinging and then just got out volumed, like volume punched, like to a TKO. Like he didn't get knocked out. Luke Riley got dropped, and by a guy who has way less power than Bogdan Grad. I know Luke Riley's really young, coming into his own, but this is a system play. I'm fading Cage Warriors to the day I die. I'm not gonna take Bogdan Grad money. I'm not gonna take Bogdan Grad money line because I don't trust him at all. I think he's very untrustworthy, but I do think he's durable and he has a very large wrestling advantage. So
I just don't like how he's plus 230, bro. This is more of like a.
I'm gonna take his plus 7.5 alt spread at minus 125.
Oh, that's a good bet.
I think that he can win at least one round on one card through his grappling, and I think even in the striking, I think this is gonna be a Cage Warriors bout. I think they're gonna be throwing hands. I think Bogdan Grad is durable enough, and Luke Riley has been dropped by dudes with scoliosis from Sweden. So, and this is like, you guys know how I rock with this Cage Warriors shit. Our rate on fading Cage Warriors guys, regardless of odds, is long term positive. So I'm not taking Luke Riley at minus 2 something. But Mo, what were you gonna say?
Honestly, I like Luke Riley, but that play you just said, plus 7.5 for Bogdan Grad to win one round is actually insane. Like they're disrespecting Bogdan Grad.
1 round on 1 card.
Yeah, that's purely disrespectful, and what they're trying to imply with that is that Luke Riley's gonna get a finish, is what they're trying to imply, but I don't believe that. Bogdan Grad is very tough, very hard to finish.
Bro, change his tone real quick.
I'm gonna go with your play here, Mike. I think that's a great play. I can't lie, but I just don't like how Bogdan is plus 230. Like I feel like the odds on this fight and the Shamrock fight are like insane.
Hot Hand, how do you feel? Or Unk, Hot Hand.
Hot Hand is not here.
Oh shit, Hot Hand hopped out.
Yeah, he got disconnected.
Unk, take over. Let me know when he hops back in. Let me know when he hops back in so I can add him.
Well, I think I don't think it goes to the judges. And Bogdan Grad, the more he gets hit, the more he wants to punch back. And Luke Riley, this is the 11-0 kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think and his whole thing is like finishes. He has a couple decisions, but it's mainly KOs. So I think he's gonna want to put a performance on And the more Bogdan gets hit, the more he tries to throw back. And then, like, I could see him getting, like, clipped easy. But I can see him, like, throwing, like, crazy volume power at this Luke Riley kid. And this Luke Riley kid coming from, Cage Warriors, we said, to him not being, like used to killers like that. So exact method of victory for KO is minus 130. And, like, that's probably what I'm going to take because, like, I don't know who's going to win the fight. I just think that they're both going to strike each other and someone's going to get knocked out.
It's not a bad pick either.
I can't hate on that. We'll keep it pushing though if Hot Hand's not back. So got a leak. I saw a leak in there. Before we move on, obviously as always, the link in the bio. Fade Factory, hop in. Been smoking in all sports. We're gonna keep on this run. Get right or get left. Not much else to say. We have Tagir Ulanbekov and Kyoji Horiguchi in a nice bout to start the main card off. Horiguchi comes back after a decade out of the UFC, damn near, and he's on a decent 10-month layoff from his last fight. He's been fighting over in Rise, and he's fought over in Bellator. And long term, he's made his name for himself as one of the best at 150, or at the best in this weight class on planet Earth. So, but that's like from the older days. He's fought Demetrius Johnson for the title. That's how you know how long ago this was. Been fighting bums. If you look at his last fight in Ryzen, I think it's an absolute abomination that they gave him that guy. Like, Ryzen is still doing worked fights. Like, it's like the WWE over there, dead ass. Like, they had some dude from South Africa, some Zulu dude. This motherfucker, I don't know where they pulled him out of, like a warehouse, because it was always Horiguchi, and Horiguchi couldn't even finish him. I don't know. I look at this Horiguchi. Most of his, he wants to wrestle. He wants to shoot. He wants to get to the ground. He has some overhands and some striking, but it's mostly just power based. It's not really that technical. He's trying to grip you up, get you to the ground, and employ his strength over you. Tagir Ulanbekov obviously trains with the Khabib camp, long time Khabib camp member. He actually started off with the striking game and then transitioned over to the grappling, as most of the newer age has been doing. But Tagir, obviously, he's been having some close calls recently. He arguably lost his last bout to Azat Moxham, who just lost to Mitch Raposo. So MMA math is not in his favor. But Horiguchi, he's fought some recognizable names before. Sergio Pettis twice. He fought Kaya Sakura twice, and then back to his UFC days. I think his UFC competition were a bunch of fucking cans besides Demetrius Johnson, to be completely honest with you. But that was a long time ago. I think the UFC has leveled up definitely, and they're in their level of athlete overall, average level of athlete. I just think Tagir Ulanbekov and his grappling could be able to cancel each other out here. Don't think he's going to be offensively grabbing Tagir, and even if he gets him down, I don't think he's going to be able to implement control times on Tagir on the ground.
Fuck your export.
So I don't think he's getting him to the ground.
Fuck your export.
I don't think Tagir is gonna hold Kyoji down either. I think this might be a striking bout, and I'm gonna lean Tagir all day in the striking realm when it comes to that. So give me Tagir Ulanbekov on the money line. I think this over is a pretty safe bet too, but if anyone gets finished, I think it's gonna be Kyoji getting submitted or something like that. He's been knocked out before. I wasn't too impressed. He's gonna try to get takedowns here. I think Tagir is just more well rounded, and I'm gonna side with him on the money line. I don't really want to pick any method of victories, but if I had a gun to my head and I had to pick a prediction, it's just Tagir by decision. Probably the way I'm going. Over looks decently good in this one though. Unk, how do you feel? Unk.
I feel like after watching tape and seeing everything that we should fade the Jap again. It's these rising guys, man. He had a subpar career in Bellator. He went 2-1, 2 wins, 2 losses, and 1 no contest. Then he fights in Ryzen, bunch of no names, and gets his record up. And one of the best in the world. Give me a fucking break. Give me Tagir all day, and I'm going to take him within the distance on one of the books. However, I do that. FanDuel, I think, has that or something. So to gear by finish in some way, shape, or form. I think he's going to fraudulently show Kyoji off as another rising guy who doesn't know how to wrestle and use the octagon, and he just doesn't know how to do it. I mean, like subpar and Bellator level. Like now he's going to come over to the UFC. No, Tagir is going to shut him down, and I'm pretty strong on that pick.
Listen, I was gonna say my pick is gonna sound like a long shot, but after what you guys are saying, it might not sound like a long shot. I was gonna say while Hiroji is going for a takedown, Tagir is gonna hit him with a flying knee and slump him. I don't know why, I just feel like that.
I could see it. I think
Like
Tagir
I
has,
literally like
I think Tagir has the
I
size to
definitely
hold
could.
the
I could
cage.
agree with it.
weird feeling about that, bro. I don't know why. I'm getting a
I
weird
could agree
feeling.
with it. They don't know. They don't know how to use the distance in the cage because it's different. Because when your back foot goes so far back, when you're taking a back step, you're against the cage. Then these guys aren't used to that because they have ropes. So like, so then he shoots forward off the cage, and yeah, he gets blasted with a knee. I could see that. Or opposite, Tajir has his
Pushes
back.
him back to the cage, and then he's gonna shoot and hit him with a flying knee. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, or opposite. Yeah, like I can see that. These guys don't know how to measure the distance in the cage, and this is the third guy now that they brought over. And like, if it's wrong, then it's 1 and 2. We've been wrong on
Wait,
this.
Jiri came from Ryzen, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't,
That was a long time ago, though.
I,
That was a
yeah,
long time.
I wouldn't completely agree with like how bad Ryzen is. Like, I think they're decent. I don't think they're as bad as Cage Warriors.
Yeah,
You know what
but
I mean?
you had what's his
And
name? What's
Hiroji was in the UFC before, fought
who,
pretty good names.
that? But Mo, that's it. You're going back in Unk time there. That's
Yeah,
10
I
years
agree.
long
ago.
I
time.
agree. It's the new age versus the old age right here, and I'm
Yeah.
just gonna have to side with the new age no matter what.
Yeah, we're
I
gonna.
just think Tagir is like that. I just hope he doesn't gas out in this fight.
But for history purposes, there was the one rising guy who asked for his release of his contract so he could go back, and then the second guy, I can't think of his name. He's 1 and 2 or something.
Oh, you're talking about Asakura?
I think is Oscar still in?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he's
still.
still in.
He's
He
moving
moved.
down
Okay,
a class.
He
Or
moved up.
up a
No, he's
class.
moving up a class.
okay.
Okay.
So what is he? 1 and 2?
Yeah.
Okay, he's
He's
1 and
0 and
2.
2. He's 0 and 2.
0 and
Okay,
2?
Yeah, he opened up with Pantoja off rip, and then he fought and got choked out. Asakura. He's 0 and 2.
okay. So
Oh, you
Osakir
might
is
be right. Because he did get choked out to Tim.
Yeah.
So once again, that's just my final statement. They don't know how to measure cage distance as compared to the Ryzen ring distance. And I don't know, Mo, you've been in a ring before. It's a whole different parameter.
Yeah, it is.
And you got the one guy that's 0 and 2, and then the other guy, I can't think of his name, but if you Google it, he asked Hunter Campbell for his release, and he's back in Ryzen.
All right.
I don't
Well,
even know about that one.
we'll move on to
Yeah.
the next one. And we got Shamil Gaziev taking on Waldo Cortez Acosta.
I fucking love this fight so much. I'm so
Waldo.
happy Spivak
Why
pulled out,
the
bro.
fuck do you love this fight? Let's
Bro,
hear
Waldo.
it.
I love this fight more than Gaziev versus Spivak. That's why.
All right, hold
All
on.
right. Hold
This
on.
fight is gonna be on the feet and stay on the feet, and somebody's getting knocked out. That's why.
All right. Mike, read the breakdown.
All right, we got Gaziev taking on Costa on short notice. Originally, Spivak was supposed to fight, but he pulled out, and Waldo said, "Fuck it, give me him." Even after
And this
that,
is the second time Waldo has accepted a fight against these two people. They were supposed to fight before, Spivak and Shamil, and Waldo stepped in before and fought Spivak.
I didn't know that, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was when he robbed me in New Jersey. Remember when
Yeah.
Patchy Mix fought?
But
Fucking
Waldo
bullshit.
coming in off that win over Ante Delija after the eye poke, after he got finished, got eye poked, and then finished him in pretty epic fashion. Now he's taking on Shamil Gaziev. This fight could go two ways, in my opinion. Gaziev's gonna just blob and lay on him, and do nothing, where Cortez or Waldo is gonna absolutely chew him up with the jab. Because if you watch the Shamil Gaziev versus Jairzinho Rosenstruck fight, Rosenstruck was fucking him up with the jab, like fucking him up bad with the jab. And I think Waldo has the best jab at heavyweight, like by a decently sizable margin. So like, I think
I
Waldo's gonna be
agree.
able to jab his head off. And if that the only way I could see Waldo lose it is it's a pretty reasonable path. I could see Shamil get him to the ground, but we've seen
Wait,
Waldo.
Waldo's a favorite? Fuck.
Yeah,
I thought he was gonna be an underdog.
I think he opened as a dog, but then automatically flipped. But Shamil, he's going to be obviously trying to grapple, and he's a big boy. I think he can get Waldo to the ground and have some control time, but I don't. Every round starts on the feet, and I don't think he's going to be able to do this over the course of 3 rounds. We saw Sergey struggle to do it and land some shots, but I think Sergey's way faster of a puncher than Shamil Gaziev. Shamil Gaziev has a lot of power and slower and methodical. I think Waldo's going to be able to move a little bit on the outside, stick him with the jab, and get a decision victory, but we are over here in Qatar, so now you're playing with poison. Uh, I like Waldo here, but Shamil Gaziev via split decision just sounds like fucking what's like the script. Like I think that Waldo's gonna get Waldoed, but I think Waldo's the better fighter here. I think Shamil can lay on him. I think that's his path to victory. But on the feet, give me Waldo all day. He's showing me his takedown defense is pretty formidable too. When
I
he
don't know,
almost got
bro.
finished by Delija, he almost got finished via volume strikes. Shamil Ghazi does not have that type of volume to get him out of there like that. So I'm gonna start with Waldo. What were you gonna say though, Mo?
Fuck, bro, I don't know about that holding him and sitting on him the whole fight type of thing, bro. Because you got to realize, do you remember that Martin Boudet versus Shamil Gaziev fight?
Yeah,
Martin Boudet literally held this nigga against the cage in a clinch the entire fucking fight,
he
bro.
does that to
Like,
everyone though. He does it to
yeah, he
fucking
does it. He does it to everyone, but like, bro, the way he did it to Shamil was crazy, gang. Like, we know Shamil's a good wrestler. We know he's able to like stop the takedowns and shit like that. But like, to get held against the cage by Martin Boudet the whole entire fight was actually sad to see. And I don't think that he's gonna take Waldo down as easily as people think. I think that this fight is gonna stay standing, and I think that Waldo is gonna piece him up. Because I do think Waldo has way better hands, and like you said, he has one of the best jabs in the entire heavyweight division, and he's very fast for a heavyweight, very fast and athletic.
Yeah, so uh
My boy was throwing 100-ball fastballs before he came to the UFC, bro. He's gonna fucking throw a 100-mile-per-hour fast right jab to his face and drop him.
So I
Funk,
say,
how do you
I
feel?
so I say this every time that Waldo Costa fights, and I'm just repeating Mike, but like I have said this every time we have covered this man. He has the best jab in the heavyweight division, and he is definition of a decision merchant. Like this guy's record is all decisions. That
He's
last
been
fight,
getting finishes, bro. He got 2
no,
finishes in his last
no,
couple of fights.
he got a finish in his last fight, and then there's a decision, and then there might be a KO,
Before
but
that,
then
he got a KO too.
there isn't two in a row.
No, not 2 in a row, but I'm saying in like the past 3-4 fights, he has 2 KOs.
Yeah,
100%.
but
He's been fighting a lot though.
Yeah, he
yeah,
has been
but
fighting a lot, which is
I,
also very good.
but I don't know, Mo. I do it off like
This is not like where this is my bad to cut you off on. This is not like where like they're fighting often and have to cut a lot of weight. Like, no, bro, these guys are heavyweights. This nigga don't gotta cut any weight at all. So it's like it's not a bad thing that he's fighting often, you know what I mean?
yeah,
If he had to cut weight, then I would more so lean toward Gaziev. But bro, this nigga's not cutting weight. He's like 250 pounds.
yeah. But all I'm saying is I don't see him getting the finish because for some reason he chooses to stay at range and box,
Yeah.
and then like yeah, he'll throw the right, but it's literally a one. It's a straight one. Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's and
He
then
doesn't keep the pressure up. I know what you mean.
and he doesn't throw more than two. Like he'll double jab and
Yeah,
then
he'll
right.
throw like a double jab and back up.
Yeah. So my thing is, like Mike said, if Jamil gets him down, he might win a decision or possibly a TKO because, bro, no offense, but Waldo is not good getting back up. Like, I plenty of times he's been held down and like just shelled up and got blasted. But he is way better at keeping standing and distance. So like Shamil's a good wrestler. It's gonna come down to like, can Shamil get Waldo on the ground? And if Waldo, is able to defend off the takedown, then he should be able to jab Shamil's head off. So, but you're saying, and you're strong, firm that you think that this will be a finish in this fight, Mo? And Mike, what did you say? Do you think they'll be finished in this fight?
No, I said Waldo by decision.
I
All
think
right.
if somebody gets finished, it'll be Waldo finishing Gaziev.
Yeah, so do I. I agree with that.
I don't
Okay.
believe Gaziev is getting a finish here at all. Like not one chance in
Maybe
hell.
some random ass pool submission.
Not, yeah, like not even like I don't even think there's a 1% chance of him getting a finish here. And these guys are heavyweights, so that says a lot. You know what I mean? All it takes is one strike with a heavyweight and they're done. But with these guys, I don't see a finish happening unless it's a Costa knocking Gaziev out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Oh,
I'm on DraftKings right now, and because this fight was added late, they only have their money lines and the over under, and
I like the
I'm not
over.
going to be
I
able to.
like the over one and a
What's the
half.
over yonder?
The over
It's the
one and a half.
over. It's over under 2.5.
Oh, it's at 2.5.
Yeah, a lot can
Oh
happen in
yeah,
two
it's
and a
at
half.
over 2.5, like minus 125 or something, minus 110.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
over
minus.
2.5 minus 110.
So I think I'm gonna just have to like. I think Waldo wins the fight, but like my pick, and I know this is crazy because I don't normally do these, but I may look into seeing like Shamil for like a takedown or something because like I can see him getting a takedown and then them getting up and then him getting his head blasted off. So but I'm gonna lean with Waldo and then see when the odds open up, see what's a good pick. Because a
Yeah.
couple weeks back, I picked him with the first round KO and he came through with that. But honestly, bro, I do not see that with this. Like it'll be more like
Oh, and one thing I have
methodological
to say
boxing.
after you finish, Unc, one thing I have to say, this nigga Gaziev gasses out a lot, bro. I don't know if you've noticed in his fights, he gasses out
Yeah,
frequently.
for sure.
So I could see
Okay.
Waldo taking over. Like if Gaziev doesn't have a strong start, Waldo's gonna 100% win. Like not even a question. Even if Gaziev starts off the fight hot and wins round one, I still believe Waldo could possibly win round 2 and 3 and win the fight or even get a finish.
See, maybe all right. Then maybe I'm even gonna look in when they drop it, doing like Costa and then under 2.5 possibly. So, but
Listen,
as
if
of,
you don't think he gets a finish, by all
Take his money
means,
line. His money line's good.
the money line is not a bad bet. You know what I mean? Like if you don't
yeah,
think he gets a finish, minus 140 is not bad. I genuinely thought he
yeah.
was an underdog when the fight first dropped.
I
I
was
thought he was
looking
going to be
at.
like a
All
plus
right,
120,
I'm
taking it
kind of
on
all
waiting
right.
notice.
for. I'm kind of waiting for Shamil's spread too.
Well, I want to see Shamil weigh in, but I think I'm gonna just lean with Wallow's money line then because, like you guys said, no reason to be playing around with other shit. I mean, he's clearly the winner of the fight.
Yeah, when I see like a fight like this and the odds are very even and we both like not we both we all of us like agree on one person. You know what I mean? I think that's just
Yeah.
the
Oh
best
no,
bet to go. Like, we
I think
didn't just
Shamil
fuck
could
around
win.
with
I
anything
think
else.
Shamil has the
No,
pathway to do this.
I think I think he could win too, but like I think Waldo's gonna win. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong,
We'll
Shamil
keep this
definitely
pushing
can
though.
win.
Keep this pushing.
Yeah.
'Cause that
Yeah.
Waldo
Yeah.
section's probably like 15 minutes. But we'll go
Oh no.
Jack
That was one of the
Hermansson.
best fights though.
Yeah, it is one of the best fights, so I don't care. But Jack Hermansson taking on Miktebek Orolbai, fan favorite.
Matty Betts is a retard.
Jack Hermansson coming down 15 pounds after getting absolutely. I was watching that
Obliterated.
RoboCop shit against him last week for my RoboCop tape, and his iron
Cash
fist was
money.
so bad. So like,
Cash
and then
money.
Miktebek Orolbai, he got it done for us at great odds his last bout. So uh, he's coming up 15 pounds though. He's not trying to make 155, which he couldn't make anyway. He was getting catch weights and shit. Now he's at 170, where he beat Euros Medic on short notice, as a dog. So he's been comfortable at the division before. He's here full time now. bulking up. But now you have Jack Hermansson coming down after getting his chin broken. He's gonna be fucking the life sucked out of him, and his chin's already fucking as thin as a fucking pencil. So like, what? I don't know. I like Miktabek Orba has never been finished. He's not even 30 years old yet. He's coming into his own. He's been taking some damage recently, but he's an absolute dog with great grappling. Um, and good striking. His striking defense is just very subpar, but I don't really worry about that here against Jack Hermansson because Jack does have decent striking, but it's not like he's some fucking world class kickboxer. He's gonna try to grapple. He might be the bigger human overall, but like I don't really rate him as a stronger guy. I think Miktabek Orolbai might be able to take him down, drag him out because he's going to be sucked out because of his weight cut, coming down 15 pounds after a brutal knockout. Give me Miktabek Orolbai on the money line. Kind of undecided on my methods, but I think he can get a submission here because I think they're going to be grappling, and I think his grappling is going to be a little bit better. Knockout there because Jack Hermansson has no chin, but Miktabek Orolbai is probably going to grip him up. So submission, decision. The money line's a good parlay piece, but uh, I gotta look more about what I'm gonna take on a realistic
Honestly,
line.
I think Orolbai inside the distance in this fight is a great bet. Sub or
Yeah,
KO.
Yeah, Mo, so that's gonna lead into my pick because I'm gonna take Orolbai within the distance. So like
Like Mike said
I,
though,
I
Orolbai minus 245 is the one of the best parlay pieces on this card.
that's
that's
Unk's pick.
great. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's my pick for the collab.
Let's go. I like
So
it.
so all right, but Orolbai, I think it's the a win within the distance because like Jack Hermansson, like okay, I know Jack Hermansson very very well. The only way that he wins this fight is he has like he studied jujitsu, but they did it's a style where they studied feet and leg locks as compared to back takes and rear naked chokes and arm bars. So the only way that he could win this fight is like get an oral buy and some type of like leg lock or something like weird that Jack Hermansson's squad like has came up with. But oral buy overall is the better wrestler. And you know, anybody that knows MMA knows that like if you know wrestling and know positioning, you can position yourself and wrestle yourself out of whatever, you know, that your opponent's trying to attempt. I don't think Jack has any chance on the feet. Like yeah, he is a good kick. He's quick. His hands are quick and everything. But like we've seen it time and time again. Like I cashed so much money from the Rodriguez fight, from him getting KO'd. As soon as he starts getting touched with power, he fucking crumbles. And Orolbai, if he touches him up a little bit, it'll be the same thing. Or if not, Orolbai will wrestle him, and Jack will be trying that funky jujitsu. I don't even know what because it's not 10th Planet. It's something that they created, and he'll be trying. It's like they're doing Aminari rolls with leg locks and knee bars, and it's just not gonna work because you're gonna be getting beat up, so you're not gonna have the strength to be able to hold any of that and do any of it. And Orolbai will just wrestle you out of it. So yeah, give me Orolbai within the distance, but my parlay piece is the Orolbai money line minus 245.
Yeah, we'll keep this one pushing, and we'll go to the co-main event
Unk,
of the
Unk,
evening.
Unk finally got one of the best
Yeah,
collab
you're
picks.
not gonna like mine, but okay, we'll wait for that.
No, you
Vulcan.
better not put Ian Gary in that shit. 'Cause I'm not
No,
gonna
no,
tail it.
no, it's not Ian Gary. I promise you that. But it was almost below
As
plus
long
seven. It was
as
almost.
long as this,
Hold up. It was almost below plus 7.5. But I didn't put
that's
the.
actually a great bet. What the fuck? I'm definitely taking that. What the hell? Good call.
But hold up. I'm gonna keep going because we
I
have a
didn't even
couple
think about
fights.
that.
We have a couple fights, so I'll keep going. Volkan Oezdemir, Alonzo Menifield. Menifield coming off a fraud check in Umar C. He's been fighting durable his last couple. He's been getting handed some pretty competent opponents. Now Volkan Oezdemir coming off of his loss against Carlos Olberg a while back, but he's fighting here. Menifield's pretty durable, but if you do some MMA math, um, Carlos Olberg absolutely fucking disintegrated Alonzo Menifield, and Volkan Oezdemir went 3 rounds with him. So um, that could be a little bit of MMA math, but I think that there's some opportunity in round two to start in this one for a little parlay piece. But I'm siding with Volkan Oezdemir. I think that his way that he strikes and walks down Alonso Menifield is going to pay dividends. I think the only way that Alonso Menifield gets a win here is if he starts implementing a grappling game, which I think he is a stronger guy here. But I think that he's going to rush in like an idiot, and Volkan Oezdemir is pretty pinpoint and precise with his striking. That's the way, like, he's more of like, he's like a very to the point puncher. He's not just throwing shit out there, wasting energy. He's looking to get that shit down the pipe. What he did to Johnny Walker was absolutely fucking foul, but that was
Beautiful.
but it was Johnny Walker, so take that with a grain of
Yeah, but it
salt.
was just beautiful.
Yeah, and then Alonso Menifield, he has been good. He's been a very durable guy, and he has beaten some guys in the UFC and been very impressive. I think he's a durable guy, even though he has been
I
finished very
agree.
fast. So I like. I think there could be some opportunities in a round two to start. Or let me look at an over under real quick while I have it up. Um, Vulcan, the over 1.5. You're getting at -165 on DraftKings. It'll probably be slightly better on a different app. So like minus one. If it's -150, I think I can like that over 1.5. But I like Volkan Oezdemir here on the money line. I wouldn't pay anything more than like -225 though. -250, we're starting to push it. I think he still wins the fight, but I think that Alonso Menifield could make it interesting and make you sweat a little bit on that -200 of the line. But give me Volkan. Give me
Also,
him
I
for the
think I
finish
think he's
too.
gonna make people sweat on that finish.
Yeah, give me
It's
Volkan
funny
on the
that you said
finish.
finish.
Yeah, for a prediction. I'm not gonna be betting it, but
Oh, okay,
I'm
okay.
talking about the overs. 'Cause, like I like the durability of Alonso Menifield, and I think it can make it
Yeah, I like
sweaty.
his durability as well. That's why, like, when people have been saying Vulcan KO, I like it. Don't get me wrong. It's just like, yo, you know how many times this dude Menifield has killed me betting on somebody else to KO him?
Yeah, so take that with like some caution. But give me Vulcan. How do you feel about your pick? What's your read on this?
On this one, I think Vulcan is gonna piece him up, but like you said, Menifield is very tough. So unless Vulcan is very capable of doing it. Don't get me wrong. This dude is powerful and he has crazy good technique for a heavyweight. So wait, this is light heavyweight actually, right?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. For a light heavyweight, he has very, very good technical skill. Don't get me wrong; it's not as bad as heavyweight guys, but I don't think light heavyweight guys are very technical. So for Volkan Ozdemir, I thought he was gonna be like like top five all his career ever since he entered the UFC, but he's been like letting people down and shit because he has a sus chin as well. But I don't know, man. I think Vulcan -225 is an absolute lock right next to Orolbai. So if you parlay those two together, you're making great money right there. I don't know what else I would play in this fight because I don't want to play the KO again and get killed by Menifield's chin.
yeah. How about
And
you, Monk?
that's where I come in with the highs and lows of Volkan Oezdemir's career. Brother, this guy back in the day, he fought DC for the belt. You know, he was doing no time, pointing to his wrist like there was a watch because he had the touch of death. His punches weren't even hard. He'd just be touching people. They'd be going to sleep. And
Bro,
then
it's the technical ability mixed with the power.
well, exactly. But every time he would step up and fight somebody of fought for the belt or had the belt, they would blap him. So and so then when he fought Oberg, I was really strong on the fight not to go the distance, one of them to get finished. And I wake up, it's like 5 a.m, the China card, and they're reading the decision, and Ozdemir lost the decision. But if you take
Wait, in
that
which
out,
fight?
his last fight against Oldberg.
Okay.
So he lost the decision. It went the distance, and I think that Ozdemir is going to come out like, hey, I lost a shit decision last time. I wasn't myself. The time distance was off. Like, I'm going to fight right, and I'm going to get the KO, and I'm going to get the win.
I
And
like that.
Volkan Ozdemir under 2.5 rounds is +110, and I mean that I think is my like shorter unit play, but his money line is -225. His decision KO or his double chance KO or decision is -200. So there's no point there. You would just take the money line instead for -225. So that's where I'm going. But Menifield is known for he did improve his cardio a little bit, but he's very, very muscle heavy, so he gets labored because he has so much muscle fiber. And the more muscle fiber you have, the harder it is for you to fight. The more tired your muscles get and everything, and your arms get. And I definitely think that Oezdemir has enough experience and the athletic tools and striking ability to get Menifield out of there if Menifield doesn't get Oezdemir out in the first round. So if it's either Menifield KO first round or Oezdemir all the way for me.
Yep. But we'll keep this one moving then to the co-main event of the night. Ian Garry taking on, remember the name, Bilal Muhammad. Bilal Muhammad obviously letting us down against JDM. Forgot he can grapple, and I think that's kind of packed into the line here. I don't think that Ian Gary's a minus 260 favorite whatsoever. I think the odds open to him
Yo, that's
minus.
insane.
I think at minus 150. Yeah, I could see that on the opening line, but when you're talking minus 260s and minus 300 damn near on some books, I think that's a bit ridiculous. Bilal Muhammad has great grappling and good striking. He's well rounded and he is extremely durable. Now, the thing about Bilal Muhammad is he's gonna be shooting takedowns in this fight, and if he doesn't, I'm gonna go to his fuck. All right, I mean,
Let's not,
but but yeah, but Bilal, I think he's gonna grapple in this fight because he's gonna be getting shooted from the outside from Ian Gary's length. Ian Gary's gonna be on his bicycle. He was one of our top picks of the year in gems against Carlos Prates, but in this fight, I haven't seen. So for Ian Garry, you're looking at his record or his resume. He's not fighting a lot of offensive pressure wrestlers that are actually forcing him to be scared of the grappling game. He's just able to let shit rip because he's already at an advantage in the stuffs and shit like that. He hasn't fought anyone. He's been getting handed fights for the early part of his career, and then he got the upset over Carlos Prates, and now he's super elite. Like I think he's gonna be able to get taken down by Bilal, and Bilal has only really struggled against guys that could punish him in boxing range before he can get to the legs. Because Bilal gets into that range, throws something or kind of just feints, and then goes in for the double leg and grabs you against the cage and then gets you to the ground. Ian Garry really isn't one of those guys. He relies on movement. He's not really punishing you down the pipe like a JDM would be in boxing range. And Bilal had great success against JDM early in that fight. He just got outboxed, and watching that fight again today, it made me realize Bilal was a lot closer than a lot of people give him credit for. I think that he is gonna have some trouble with the way that Ian Garry moves around the cage and dips in and out of range. But if he's not a fucking idiot, um, I think he could be able to wrestle fuck his way for 2 rounds at least. I don't think he's getting finished by Ian Garry. Um, a lot of Shavkat's entries against Ian Garry add you that Shavkat had a torn something, meniscus or something, but a lot of his entries were high and looking for body trips and takedowns in that way, and he wasn't able to get it because Gary's long legs and stuff in that way. But Gary's really never had pressure on his legs, and with that height advantage, I think it's going to be easier for Bilal to get to his legs and get him to the ground. So I like Ian Garry in his striking, and he probably will get pushed. It's hard to tell motive here for a rigged fight if it would be because Ian Garry has more to offer to the UFC, but Bilal, um, it's Qatar, and he has a big fan base over in the Middle East. So, I'm gonna lean Bilal Muhammad here. Actually, I think I'm gonna lean him, but I could see Ian Garry being a problem with the striking and getting a decision victory. I think it's going over. Um, but I like Bilal spread as my play. Bilal plus 3.5 up to plus 7.5. Um, that's what I'm gonna play, and probably a Bilal takedown prop. If he doesn't go for takedowns like he did in the last fight, he's getting beat 100%. So this is all reliant.
100%.
This is all reliant on him actually trying to grapple. But
This is all reliant on him actually sticking to the game plan and everything I'm about to just say. If this is the original Bilal, not the fucking Canelo hands Bilal that he wanted to try to show in his last fight, this is the easiest fight for Bilal. because all Ian Garry is going to try to do is play lateral movement, jab him up, hit him with a little couple body kicks. But guess what? Bilal is going to keep pressuring you. He's going to stay in your face the whole time. He's going to keep switching stances. He's going to jab your head off. Nobody talks about how good Bilal's jab is. That's what you guys got to realize. Bilal has one of the best jabs in the welterweight division, not in the UFC, in the welterweight division. One of the best jabs. He keeps that pressure up crazy. And when you switch stances, I don't know if you guys ever were in a fight before, but when somebody's switching stances and they have the opposite jab hand every single time they switch stance, it gets crazy. You know what I mean? Like you start like losing your traction on where to bob and weave. You know what I mean? So I think that Bilal is going to pressure Ian Garry. Once he has Ian Garry back against the cage, he's going to shoot. He's going to take him down. And Ian Garry made a huge mistake by taking this as a 3-round fight when Bilal said, let's do 5 rounds as the main event. Ian Garry said, no, I'm doing 3 rounds. So that's very bad for Ian Garry. I don't know why the fuck he would say that. He has more of a chance of winning a 5-round fight than a 3-round fight because Bilal could easily just hold you down 2 rounds and get damage on you and win 2 rounds, and then he lets you win the 3rd round by just standing up. You know what I mean? So plus 240 for Bilal is fucking insane. And I'm so happy it's back to this price because this is where I've cashed on him so many times, numerous times. And I paid the fucking minus 190 last time and missed out on 15K. So I'm just very glad plus 240 is back and I can fucking take him for what I usually take him for. And minus 260 for Ian Garry is just absolutely ridiculous. This fight, if I'm being realistic, like obviously I might sound a little biased because I'm a Bilal fan, but realistically, if I'm making the odds in this fight, I think it would be like minus 160 Ian Garry, plus 125 Bilal. I don't see no minus 260 in any fucking world. Like, that's actually sad. And I'm slamming Bilal's money line plus 240, but I do like that pick that Mike said plus 7.5. I don't know what the odds are on that, but that's 100% cashing, and I'm definitely slamming that.
Hey, Mo. Before I give my pick, you just tell me what's the name of the 2 fighters that are fighting.
What do you mean?
Who's fighting? What's their names?
Ian Garry and Bilal Muhammad.
Oh, all right. We say Bilal. We say
he's saying
Bilal.
it right though. He's saying it right.
Yeah, I know he's repping for his people. That's why I was joking a little.
Not even repping for the people. I just said, even all bias aside, if I'm making the odds on this fight, it's minus 160 Ian Garry. Obviously, that means he's in favor. You know what I mean? I'm being real with you. Like, at the end of the day, Bilal is not plus 240 against Ian fucking Garry, bro.
Like, I agree with you.
Did to him.
Well, I agree with you. I was just saying because you say Bilal and we say Bilal, so I was just getting a laugh out of you. That's all.
Bilal Muhammad. That's how you say it.
That's what I wanted you to say. I was asking. Yeah,
I love Ian Garry too. Like, don't get me wrong. Aside from all the cuck shit, as a fighter, I love him. You know what I mean? I love his fighting style. But
I don't want to.
Ridiculous.
I don't want to hold it any longer. I'm picking Bilal's money line because
I like the way you said that.
Because that's way too good to pass up. But I'm also going to place a side bet on Mike, your pick with 7-5 just to cover if his money line doesn't cover, and then that's it. I don't need to say any more because like we know the fighting styles.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm also gonna sprinkle. I'm also sprinkling plus 1,400 Bilal sub just because of like all the noise the welterweight division has been making. You know what I mean? He knows he has to come out and make a statement. So hopefully he hunts some subs.
I'll never fault someone for a sprinkle, but Gary's jiu-jitsu is good, Mo.
No, I agree 100%. I know that's training at Shoot the Box. Man's moved to Brazil.
Let's go to this main event because we'll be on this Bilal fight forever.
Go ahead. Pass.
We got Tsarukyan taking on Dan, the Hangman Hooker. Arman's a huge favorite here. He's trying to get back on track for a title shot. Dan Hooker, he'll take any fight any day. And a little bit of MMA math here. Dan Hooker upset Mateusz Gamrot at great odds, and Mateusz Gamrot beat Tsarukyan. So that's something to look at. But Dan Hooker's takedown defense, it's solid, but I don't think it's going to be good enough to even. Like, I think if he gets to the ground, I think Arman could finish him relatively quickly. I don't know about round 1, but I think Arman's clear here. He's gonna come in here with a chip on his shoulder after not getting a title shot and having to work his way back up after having to pull out. And Dan Hooker's just gonna have to be the victim. Dan Hooker's gonna be trying to brawl, and he always has a puncher's chance. And this odds are pretty fucking ridiculous. Plus 455 for Dan Hooker. When
Yeah, I don't know how these.
yeah, I don't like the odds here, but I'm gonna side with Arman Tsarukyan via submission as my pick. As
Yeah, I
my
like that. That's what
prediction,
I thought.
and then Armon plus round 2 to start at minus 200 is also a nice parlay piece. That's where I'm at right now. I'm gonna look more at how I'm gonna play this. Maybe a minus spread on Armon, but I don't even know what the fucking line is. It's probably gonna be ridiculous. But how do you feel about this one, Unk?
Uh, I think Dan Hooker has a chance of winning if he can use the teep kicks and use his distance to land strikes. And if Armin gets in close and Dan can stuff the takedown, his Muay Thai with the plum and the knees and the elbows is wicked. So I think it's kind of wrong to count Dan Hooker out of the fight, but I can see Armin also taking Hooker down and getting a sub. I mean, he's not the best on the ground. He is a tall guy, so if he does get his legs and flop him, that I could see that happening. But Hooker, who went by KO, is plus 800, so I'm gonna sprinkle on that, and then
Nah,
overall,
don't even do that. At that point, just take his money line at plus 450, bro. He could also somehow, some way win a decision. Like, you know what I mean? I wouldn't just put it all on KO.
all right, yeah,
The
I
odds
mean,
aren't even that
yeah,
good. If it was like in the plus 1200 range, yeah, I would sprinkle.
yeah.
But
All right. Well, yeah, then his money line's high enough. You're
I
right.
just don't.
So,
I don't understand like these odds, bro. Like I do think Armin wins, and I do think he gets a finish, but Armin is not no minus 550, bro. What the fuck?
okay. So yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with that though. I'll take Dan. Well, I'm gonna take Dan Hooker's money line for a sprinkle, and then my bet is gonna be Armin within the distance, and
What's the odds on that?
I'm currently building it on DraftKings. There's a couple different ways to
I
do
know the
it.
sub is plus 330. I was looking at that earlier, but
If you
I'd rather be safe and play KO slash sub.
if you take Armin and under 4.5 rounds, it's minus 145. So I mean that's a playable pick, but I'm sure there's a way on here that you can get it lower.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
What is the double method where it says? I'll check right now. The double method.
The double chance or the
Yeah,
double
there
chance?
KO slash sub is minus 145.
yeah
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, I'd rather take that.
I mean, yeah,
I
that's not even bad odds. That's like my caps, like my cap. I cap
Yeah.
off like
I
at minus 150.
I wouldn't even I
I
because
would I
the
would I would play that sprinkle Armin sub plus 330, and then I would also sprinkle Dan Hooker's money line, but like sprinkle like very little sprinkle on Dan Hooker's money line, just so where the point I make my money back on Armin.
yeah, I'm sprinkling Dan Hooker's money line, but then Armin under 4.5 and Armin double chance sub or KO is the same odds. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know for the listeners, you can do either or Armin under 4.5 rounds or Armin double chance via DraftKings
And then you
uh
have the same shit, right?
KO
You have the
minus
same
140.
shit, right, Mo?
What?
You pretty much have the same thing, right?
Yeah, I basically have the same thing. I'm going Armin Tsarukyan by KO slash sub. I'm gonna sprinkle his submission because I do think he could get a submission if he does finish him. I do think Dan Hooker is very, very durable. Like the only way to really break Dan Hooker is by submitting him or hitting him to the body. And Armin is not hitting him to the body, bro.
Yeah.
Like that's something that's not happening.
We'll go to the collab though. Got plus 390, 4 legs. Asu, McTickback,
Woo!
Derulo, and Alexandre. Plus 390 on DraftKings. We smacked it last week. Let's see if we
It's
can
not a
go.
bad. I like that.
Let's see if we can go back to back.
What's the odds? Plus 390.
The featured pick
Just
for this week.
also wanted on record that since July, and I picked the elbow Aslan fight, I don't have the most wrong picks. So screw you guys. All right, keep moving along.
Good shit, Unk.
All right.
Turn it up, bro.
What was I gonna say? Okay. Featured pick Max. Over 9,000 from the Discord. Long time gem member.
My boy Dylan.
His
Maxie.
his pick is gonna be Waldo Moneyline for his featured pick. So that's that. And as always, thanks for joining. And we'll have this up pretty soon. And this is an early card. Remember that. Very early card in the morning, 9 in the morning.
Saturday morning.
We'll have the plays out in gems. Hop in, link in the bio. See you at the cash counter.